What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another video. I'm Michigan Sports Talk here, and Michigan football continues their recruiting momentum, picking up another tight end commitment as they're starting to get things rolling here in the 2026 recruiting class. We go over that, plus some Michigan assistant coaches receiving contract extensions and some salary bumps, plus Steve Casula promoted. We go over some updates there, and also Enow Etta talks about how Michigan plans to restore championship mentality, and also talks about his transition going from edge to the interior on the defensive line. And Evan Link also talks about the Michigan offensive line as they look to get back to the standard and set their mentality. It's all going to be in this video and more, so let's go ahead and get right into it. Alright, so the Wolverines just landed another commitment and another tight end commit, this time from the 3-star tight end Mason Bonner. We've already made a video on him talking about everything you guys need to know about him, what he brings to Michigan. So if you guys haven't seen that video, make sure to go ahead, check it out. And this is a very interesting recruit and commitment for the Wolverines. A 6'6" wide receiver slash tight end that has some great potential, and he comes from the state of Colorado. This is a guy, another tight end that has great hands, can go up and catch 50-50 balls. And Steve Casula, Michigan's tight end coach, has done a fantastic job closing out his top tight end targets out of Matt Ludwig and Mason Bonner as he visited both of them this week and already got them to commit and closed up their recruitments. It's also big for Michigan to finally get some momentum on the recruiting trail after the contact ban. It's only been a few days since the ban has been up, and they already have landed 2 commits this week. So it seems like they got things rolling right now as they look to continue this momentum, especially heading into official visit season, which is going to be a big official visit season for the Wolverines. So Michigan landing their top tight end target out of Matt Ludwig, a 4-star tight end, and now landing albeit a 3-star tight end commitment from Mason Bonner, but a guy who has a ton of potential, and he was on the top of the board for Michigan at the tight end position. So absolutely great news right there. And I also wanted to talk about some Michigan assistant coaches who received contract extensions as well as a promotion. Steve Casula, Michigan's tight ends coach, who we just talked about, landing 2 tight ends in the same week here. It appears he has earned a bigger role, though, as entering his 2nd season as an assistant coach with Michigan. He will be now Michigan's co-offensive coordinator this season as he earned that promotion. He was also Michigan's interim offensive coordinator and play caller during their 19-13 win over Alabama. So he will be next in command on an offensive unit led by obviously new offensive coordinator Chip Lindsey, who has some big time plans for Michigan's offense this upcoming season, especially with a much more talented quarterback room. But Casula, he will collect $500,000 annually under his new deal, which is a 25% pay bump from what he was originally set to make in 2025, and it is a 2-year deal beginning in 2025. Now Casula also does have coordinator experience beyond just the 1 game. He was the interim offensive coordinator for Michigan. He was the offensive coordinator at Davenport from 2014 to 2016, also at Ferris State, and most recently at UMass. So that is according to MLive. Casula being promoted to co-offensive coordinator and receiving a pay bump. And then also MLive also uncovered new contracts that includes pay bumps for other Michigan assistants, including running backs coach Tony Elford, going from $850,000 to $900,000 as part of a new 3-year contract. Defensive line coach Lou Esposito has been moved to $600,000 compared to $500,000 in the first year of a new 2-year deal. And then wide receivers coach Ron Bellamy, defensive backs coach Lamar Morgan, and offensive line coach Grant Newsome all received contract extensions through the 2026 season, but didn't get any pay raises. So that is some contract extensions for some of the Michigan assistant coaches. And Sharon Moore, he had to replace the whole defensive coaching staff when he first became Michigan's head coach. Also a couple of coaches on the offensive side as well. He did a phenomenal job, put together a tremendous staff, and now giving them some contract extensions, and they deserve it. And obviously a big year coming up for Sharon Moore and company here in his second year as head coach for Michigan. Let me know what you guys think about that. And then I also wanted to talk about what some Michigan players recently said, speaking to John Jansen on the In the Trenches podcast. And we'll first start with Michigan defensive tackle Enow Etta entering his junior season, and he talked about, the strong culture from the college football playoff and national title team in 2023 as something the group is trying to recreate. He said, I think the biggest thing is just having everybody bought in. In 2023, everyone knew what they wanted, and me coming in as a freshman who has never been a part of a big program, seeing guys like Mike Samerstill, Blake Corum, and JJ McCarthy, Trevor Keegan, all those guys setting the standard. You could tell we were going to do something that year with the mindset those guys were kind of instilling in us, especially as younger guys. And I said, I think building off of last year, that's something we need to bring back. I wouldn't say it's completely gone, but I think we need more guys to step up into that leadership role. And he said that's something he's trying to really force himself into doing. Because, it is hard, definitely being the guy that has to speak up, he said. Now, if you guys remember, Enow Etta, came to the program and was recruited as an edge here at Michigan, but, he got big. He moved to the interior as now a defensive tackle, and he did say about the transition, first speaking on Coach Esposito, he said he's a great coach, one of my favorite coaches I've ever had because he's more of a mentor to me, just the way he talks, he'll correct me, and he'll always be encouraging guys even in the meetings. But he did say I was always a bigger edge, but my athleticism made up for it. And he said, me being the biggest guy, when we needed more bodies at D tackle, it was obviously going to be me, so he had the feeling of, dang, I couldn't escape it. Michigan's one of the only schools that wanted me as an edge. Other schools said that we want you to come and play 3 tech. So he did say, that was what he was trying to avoid, and he was in denial at first. But he also said he wasn't the guy that was about to hop in the portal. He knew he had to stick it out. Definitely some growing pains. But he said ultimately it was probably one of the best things to happen to my career. And now he's looking to have a much bigger role for the Wolverines next season. Definitely will be in the rotation in the interior. So pretty cool right there. And then also Evan Link spoke on In the Trenches podcast on Michigan's offensive line. He said, offensive line at this university has such a high standard. And he said a lot of us, what we're trying to do right now is just get back to that standard. There's a certain mentality that comes with it. And he said it wasn't really present last season just because we had lost all those guys. But now, a lot of those guys have a sense of it and what it has to be. And he said it's really going to be getting the mentality of the unit right. And as soon as we get that right, we're out there ready to go kill. And that's what you have to do as an offensive line. You got to be ready to throw your body on the line. But he did say for me at the end of the year, I started to get it a bit better, but toward the beginning of the year I would just get a little bit over anticipating some things, but in all honesty it was a lot easier than actually playing right. I grew up playing left, and as soon as you get back into it, it's like, oh yeah, I remember how to do this feels pretty good. And obviously Evan Link will be competing for that left tackle spot. So that's what Enow Etta, Evan Link had to say on In the Trenches podcast. And with that is ultimately going to wrap up this video. Michigan lands another tight end commitment from Mason Bonner. If you guys missed that commitment video, make sure to go ahead and check it out. And right now, finally, Michigan is starting to see some recruiting momentum in the 2026 recruiting class. But with that, if you guys did go ahead to enjoy this video, make sure to go ahead, drop a like, comment down below, and subscribe for more if you are new around here. I greatly appreciate it. And other than that, hope you guys all have a great rest of your day, and we will see you guys in the next video. Go Blue.